guys for coming, and thank you to all those participating on Zoom. My name is Nate Dunham, and I am lucky enough to be your president this year. And now I'd like to call up Mike Loudon for the invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, and reciting of the four-way test.
Thank you, President Nate. We love you. Let's pray. Our gracious God, we all here for different reasons. Some of us are longtime members of this club. Some of us are relatively new. Some are here to make business and professional connections, and some are here for friendship and acquaintance. Some are here to have some place to serve in this community. We're thankful for all of those who are here. We pray that you would inspire us and encourage us with our speaker today. We pray that you would bless the food to our body's use and us to thy service. And we pray that as we fellowship around the tables, we might develop a deeper friendship. These things we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships, beneficial to all concerned? God bless America. God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairies, to the ocean, white the foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And now for our introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians, Rick Maxey. Rick is looking extra retired today. That's not working. There we go.
Mr. President. And for those of you who have not seen my attire, I'll have a fashion show after the meeting. So Marshall Lee has a guest, maybe a couple of guests.
I have two guests today, and you can stand. David Pratt is Executive Director of Legal Shield, and Bruce Parmenter just moved here in June from Detroit, where he was a Rotarian for a few years. He's a financial planner, a faith-based financial planner through Ameripride. And the two of these guys, David and Bruce, they're both Marine veterans, and they're about to start a ministry, launch a ministry in October called Vets for Christ. So please welcome Bruce and David.
Awesome. And we have a visiting Rotarian who turns out she's the evil twin of one of my friends, Michelle Emerson Lewis from Tampa Midtown. Welcome, Michelle.
Welcome back, Michelle. That's it?
Yes,
no.
Yes.
Oh, wait, we have online. Welcome, Doug. Doug McCall is with us.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, now we have Happy Dollars, Melody Ryder.
Right now, who's happy today? Oh, look at this guy. He's real happy.
As Marcia said, David and I are starting off this new ministry, so I'm very happy to be a part of Lakeland. Friday will be official floor reading as I get my driver's license. So I'm happy about that, but more happy about the opportunity to serve God with this new ministry at home. Get the homeless vets off the street, get them cleaned up, get them the things that they need for all the services and all the rights that they've. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. That's a great. Okay, have you over here, fine sir.
Just like to report that my wife Kim and I had a lovely dinner with the Family Research Council and got the opportunity to sit with and discuss things with General Boyd.
Very good. Congratulations. Who else is happy? Hello, hello, hello. Happy, happy, happy dollars. All right then. All right, we're good. Thank you.
All right. Now for singing, will Mark Davies come up, please?
Good afternoon. So today's song is going to be I'm Looking Over a Four-Leaf Clover. And I'm going to sing it through twice. And I'd like everyone to join in on the second time around, if that would be great. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That's on page 56. I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before. One leaf is sunshine, the second is rain. Third is the roses that blew in the lane. No need explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before. I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before. One leaf is sunshine, the second is rain. Third is the roses that grow in the lane. No need explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, now we have some announcements. If the following folks would make their way up: Matt Brown, Gwen Allen, Stephanie Cologne, and Vince Jones. All right.
Sorry, my little public display of affection for Martha. Social committee, I wanted to report we are getting together tonight at Revival, 5:45, for a little drop-in. Please come have a drink, relax, and de-stress. And that's it. Everything else is on the website, so come see us.
Thank you, Steph.
The community outreach, we're having our first project this Saturday at Veterans Park. We'll park off of Gate 6 into the RP Funding Center, and we're going to be pressure washing the south side and preparing the park for a law enforcement event and for Veterans Day. So 8:30 on Saturday at Veterans Park. Thank you.
Are you still in need of pressure washing?
No.
Okay, so I am helping to organize a team to decorate the foundations, the Rotary Foundation's gala coming up in November. So I'm looking for volunteers to do that with me, and also sponsorships for $250 to help make that the best it can be, because we're hosting it here in Lakeland. So we're excited about that with, I don't know Mark's title, the foundation chair, Mark School. Thank you.
And last but not least, Vince Jones here, and just want to say thank you to the major sponsors that provided funds for the Rotary 5K, which will be held February 4th, 2022 at Lake Collinsworth. And we are still taking and accepting $200 sponsorships. So if you'd like to assist us with funds for the Common Ground Park, I can be reached at vgjones0071@gmail.com, or check the club directory and find my number. Thank you.
Jack Lohman couldn't be here today, but I know from the golf tournament perspective, he's still looking for golfers, sponsors, and basket of cheer. So if you want to bring your basket of cheer to a Rotary meeting, they will gladly take it off your hands. What else have we got? Board meeting tonight at 5:15 at Lakeland Electric. If nobody has anything better going on, I'm sure we'll join the social afterwards. And as you can tell, we've got a lot going on. So whether you're looking to get involved on fellowship or service, we've got lots of opportunities. So please check in on our social media, our webpage, and sign up. We can't do this without volunteers, and we'll have even more volunteer opportunities coming up with Know and Grow. And Pam's going to talk a little bit about that maybe next week. All right, now for our program, Brenda Ramirez is going to introduce our program today.
Good afternoon. Dr. Martha Santiago retired as provost for Polk State College's Winter Haven campus, Center for Public Safety, Lake Wales Centers, and Northeast Polk satellite location. Prior to being named provost in 2014, Dr. Santiago was the Dean of Academic Affairs for Polk State's Winter Haven campus and Lake Wales Center. Dr. Santiago was elected to the County Commission in November 2018 and is up for re-election in 22. And she has focused on economic development, growth, and infrastructure and community safety. She is also the owner of Leadership Consultants, serves on various community boards, including the United Way of Central Florida, Good Shepherd Hospice, Heart of Florida Hospital, Polk Vision, Women's Resource Center, and the Haines City and Winter Haven Chambers of Commerce. She resides in Winter Haven. She's married to Alex, who's one of the nicest humans I think I've ever met. She has 2 children and 4 grandchildren. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Martha Santiago.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's good to see some friends. Thank you for that show of display affection that you did right there. And also to see people I haven't seen for a while and to meet new people. So I'm very glad to be here today and to talk to you a little bit about the county. Before I do that, though, I want to thank the Rotary Club for everything that you do for our citizens. It's amazing. One of the things that I have encountered as a county commissioner is to see how organizations like you, nonprofit organizations, go out and do the nitty-gritty, what I call the nitty-gritty work. People think government can do everything. No, it's people like you, it's organizations like you that do it. You do amazing and commendable work, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that and to thank you very much. I'm going to try to maneuver this. Okay, here we go. Basically, what I'm going to share with you in maybe 20 minutes or so is the state of the county. I'm going to give you a little bit of a picture of just recent past, present, and a little bit of the future. Not too much because I don't want eyes to be glazed over with county stuff. I was talking recently to a group of people and I said, you're either very committed or you're really interested in what's going on in the county. So I'm going to assume that you're very interested in what's going on in the county this morning. I want to say that this picture is so appropriate today. This is a picture of Zoom, and it's not me or anything like that, but this is what basically we looked after a while in Zoom. And just to say that it really played a role in the last year and a half. So now I'm really glad to be in person, but I also know that Zoom continues to be a vital part as we have some people that are watching through Zoom. So it continues to be a vital part for our communication and our area. But I am sure glad to see people. I love that one-on-one contact. This is what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today is just some things that happened starting back in 2020 in March. And I don't know about you, but who would have thought that we were going to be on this roller coaster ride? Who would have thought that we were going to have a pandemic that was going to affect not only Polk County, but the state and the nation as much as it did. And to be honest with you, it was unbelievable for the county commissioners. We really had some really tough decisions to make. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of the county commissioners that are serving this county. Our heart and our soul is definitely in what's best for the county. And it was shown throughout these last couple of months, or at least a year and a half. But in this slide, we went with the state of emergency. We closed down. I'm sure you all remember. I'm sure you're all shuddering right now, just the mere thought of that. Economy went down. Everything was at a standstill. I remember going, except for the essential workers, going on the street, going to County Commission Road. There was nobody, I mean, no one on the road. And it was really, really a hard time. Our businesses, small businesses, organizations like yourself suffered tremendously. We got the CARES Act fund money, $126 million. I remember when we got that money, I said, wow, that's a lot of money. And it is. $126 million is a lot of money. And then I realized it's not a lot of money for what was needed in our county. One of the things that we agreed early on as a commission was we wanted to put this money immediately in the hands of the people. People were suffering. We got emails constantly of saying, help, help, help. So we wanted to make sure that that money went to the people. We also wanted to make sure that we dealt with small businesses because, like I said, small businesses hurt seniors and disabled people. And through the United Way, we were able also to work with nonprofit organizations that needed help and also household. So just to give you kind of a general idea where that money went, for individuals, we served over 17,000 people, averaging around $35 million. For small businesses, we served over 6,000 small businesses. That's still not enough, people, trust me. And we spent or invested, I should say, over $19 million. For the senior and disabled, the population that really, really needed that help, I remember someone sent me a picture of a group being helped, of seniors being helped outside of the church to fill out a simple application because we wanted to do it as simple as possible. But we helped over 9,000 seniors and disabled, investing $17 million. And then through the United Way, through the nonprofit, we helped 239,000 nonprofit, and we helped 5,000 households for a total of 15 million. So I think our purpose for the CARES Act money was to get the money immediately to the people. We did that, and we also had a deadline to spend it by December 2020, even though later on we found out that they extended that deadline. So we did that. Oh, let me go back. We also did testing, COVID testing throughout the county, making sure we covered every area of the county. Polk State College opened its parking lot so that we could accommodate thousands and thousands of people to come in. We worked with the health department to make sure that we got the testing. And we also got monies for the rental assistance program, which was so important. People lost their jobs, so they had lost income, and this was very important. So county affairs did not stop at that particular time. The county remained open for business. Like I said earlier, the county commissioners did not stop meeting. We continued to meet. We follow CDC guidelines, and we met at the boardroom, and we just continue our businesses because it was too important for us to continue. Those that did and could not make it a face-to-face were also available on Zoom. If we didn't have enough during that time, we also had the census in 2020. And this was very important because this was connected with how much funding Polk County gets. It also deals with positions, congressional, state positions, and so forth. So this was real important. How were we able to get to the people and say, please fill out your census form was really, really challenging. Polk Vision, our organization, was very, very helpful in that, but that was definitely a challenge. In addition, we had the 2020 election, and you know what went on with that. That was a trying time for us. So besides the economy shutting down, the census going on, and the elections taking place, we definitely had a busy 2020 year. Then I'm sure you've heard of all those people moving to Florida and moving to Polk County. I have people all the time, please tell these people not to come to Polk County. I can't do that. These people are going to come anyway. They're going to come from, so this data shows that they're coming from south, they're coming from the north, they're coming from all over to Florida for whatever reasons, but they're coming here. So meanwhile, we had people moving in. Statistics show there's at least 1,000 moving to the state of Florida. For Polk counties, anywhere from 52 to 60 daily moving here. So yes, we had to deal with the growth. And of course, as you know, growth has a lot to do with the services for the people. That's probably one of the most important things. And also an increase in public health services. With the COVID, our hospitals, our clinics, our medical staff were just totally overwhelmed. The COVID money, the CARES Act money helped with alleviate a couple of things with the hospitals and the healthcare, but it was monumental. So definitely a year of challenge. Nobody told me when I was going to run for county commission, be a county commission, that I was going to face this kind of dilemma, but it's definitely something challenging. All right, so our challenges have not ceased. They continue to happen. Now we have the Delta variant taking place. This chart is only going to show you basically what the Delta variant means compared to what we were experiencing with the COVID. It just multiplies by exponentially, I guess is the best way to put that. So we're dealing with situations like that, and we keep moving forward. Because of that, now we've got the American Rescue Plan, and we call it the ARP. American Rescue Plan is just that. It's federal money that has come to Polk County. Cities also got a certain amount of money for their cities. And this is so that we can go ahead and be in a rescue plan, recover from what the challenges that we have. For some reason, the staff at the county commission likes the word buckets. We have buckets for the CARES Act, and now we have buckets for the ARP. And these are the following buckets that we have been dealing with. We have the government and infrastructure bucket, and this is anything that deals with the infrastructure of our county except for roads. So we can look at stormwaters, electrical needs. We could look at, oh God, now I forgot about the other one, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about is utilities. That's what I was looking for. All utilities except for roads. We cannot use roads. $140 million that we got. 70 million this year, 70 million next year, with a 5-year span to spend this money. And as you could tell, again, 140 million is a lot of money, but definitely not enough of what we want to get. So we're going to spend, we've already decided as a commission to spend $87.7 million on the infrastructure, basically dealing with utilities. And then the general county impacts and mitigation, that is any money that the county is able to track that we lost revenues during the COVID time. So anything that they can claim, and remember, all of this is going to a federal audit. So all our T's must be crossed and all our I's must be dotted, because this is something that we have to show. We didn't make revenue. We could have used that revenue for infrastructure for our county. definitely we can claim that. So that's another $47.5 million. We have not agreed on the next $10.5 million. Supposedly, community and public is $6 million, and small businesses is $4 million, but we have not come to a decision on how we're going to spend that money. I'm sure the press will let you know very quickly how that money is going to be spent. Again, there's a lot of need. This is not money that we're going to hand out to people like we did with the CARES Act. When we're looking at the small business, we're looking at not so much giving money because we've already done that, but how can we keep small businesses open? We see a lot of small businesses opening and then shutting, and this is a problem. Sometimes the education part is just as important for these small businesses. So that's what we're doing. We're going to look at, I'm going to shift over to the budget at a glance. This is something that we are currently working with right now. In fact, last night we had our first hearing for our budget. If anybody is interested in that, you could go to PGTV, not HGTV, ladies, PGTV, and look at what was discussed and what budget was proposed. Next Monday, we have our next public hearing. So I invite you all to attend the public hearing on our budget. But I'm going to give you just a general overview. Is that okay? We have for the first time, a $2.1 billion budget. Wow. But you've got to understand that this $2.1 billion budget includes the ARP monies that we received. We've got to include that in our budget, plus anything that has not been spent yet, because remember I told you the deadline for the CARES Act fund was extended. So some people are still looking, some organizations are still looking on how best to spend that. So anything that has not been spent, plus what we already received from the ARP, is included in this. And of course, our property values have increased. We knew that was going to happen. Also, with the growth that we're having and having more homes, that also helps out with this. The $2.1 billion budget also includes over 50 trust funds involved with it. So it's not that we have $2.1 billion that we could just actually spend like that. Those trust funds take almost half of the proposed budget. So what we have left is our general fund budget, and that's $491 million that goes into the operation part of our county. And part of that, a good chunk of that, if close to half, goes in the operation of our sheriff department, which I am one that supports anything Sheriff Grady does to keep us safe. And, as you've already seen and heard, whatever he doesn't use, he returns it so he can use it again later on, just easy. But anyway, so think about $491 million is what we have for our budget. So looking at some of the major changes in that, we did not increase the tax millage increase. We left it as it was last year, but what we did was removed a 0.1000 mil, and we moved it from the general fund, we moved it to transportation for roads. Remember, I told you none of the money from the ARP can be used on roads. We have, and you'll see it a little bit later on, we have a $1.1 billion deficit in road projects that we need to do. And so moving this mill, adjusting this mill will help us to get to a couple of those road projects. We did have a 5% increase in fire fund, and we did have a 10% increase in solid waste disposal fee. So that's basically some of the changes that you will find or you will hear from our budget. Moving on to what I think is probably the most pressing issue that we have is our population growth. And some of you may have seen this chart, some of you may not, But if we take a look at this chart, if we take a look just at the blue, this is Bieber, and we take a look at the blue line, if we want to include our tourism and if we want to include our seasonal people, we're going to be in the year 2045, we're going to be at 1.2 million people in Polk County. Now, if you don't want the tourism in there and you don't want the seasonal and you just want to go with regular people that live here year round, the next three lines show what it would be. But even if you look at the bottom line, you'll see that we're going to be close to 1 million people in Polk County. Personally, and I am not into data and I am not into fortune telling, but based on what we have seen and based on the situation that's going on nationally, I have a funny feeling we're going to be at over the 1 million people in Polk County. So we definitely have to be ready. This chart is like on the forefront of everything we do because it impacts everything we do. So let me put it in a little different perspective here. This is Polk County, and this is not necessarily the district we represent, even though I do represent the Northeast. But the Northeast is expanded to include Auburndale, all of Winter Haven. So please understand that. Northeast is not totally my district. But if you take a look at this, you'll see that little arrow pointing down that the area that's going to grow the most is going to be the Northeast area. This is no surprise. If you've traveled to Winter Haven, Auburndale, all the way to 27, if you've ever taken, how many of you have gone on Highway 27? You know what I'm talking about. 27, north of 27, Poinciana, which is at that little side sticking out, all the way up to the Four Corners. Has anybody gone to the Four Corners to see how that's growing? It's unbelievable. So rightly so, Northeast area is going to grow. And if you take a look at that, it tells you we're expecting over 200,000 additional people from what we have. And just keep going down, just the dwelling units that are there, that are needed are 91, if I'm not mistaken, 91,000. I always say realtors, take a look at that because that is a good number for you. Going down to the lanes, the miles of roads that are needed in that area just to accommodate the growth. And I'm not in the school system, even though my background is in education, but if I were the superintendent and his people, I would be looking at that. Additionally, 38, is that right? 38,000 students just in that area. They just finished building to a brand new high school up there, and it's already full to capacity. Anyway, the two bottom ones are even more important. That's the fire call. That's just to show you the service, and the sheriff's call. And Sheriff Grady Judd will tell you how much that has increased. So this is another chart that stays very close to us, reminding us the growth that's taking place in Polk County. So infrastructure is very important. I told you that we're going to do a lot of infrastructure with the ARP and dealing with drainage, stormwater, water utilities. And also we're going to be looking at infrastructure with roads from our general budget. So the fact that we can use the ARP money to release some funds from our utilities is going to help us to be able to focus on our roads in addition to the mill that we adjusted in there. So let me just share with you some things that we are right now doing, because this is very, very important for our county. We are just about finished with 4 new stations that are under construction. You could see where they're at. We have 4 more that as soon as these are completed, will start. They're already budgeted. And a couple of months ago, we went on ahead and approved 4 more. So in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to have 12 new fire stations in Polk County. This will replace some of those fire stations that are really, really a bad situation and kind of an embarrassment. This is a new building prototype that we have, and it's going to be very good for us. We're also going to be looking at a new fire rescue training center. This is so that our firemen can have a place where they can practice safety techniques. And this came out of also from that situation that we had 2 or 3 years ago with the woman that was died in a fire. So this is one of the recommendations, and we're glad we're able to comply with that. And then we have the sheriff's training. We need to do some capital improvements to the sheriff training center. So a lot of work are going into some of this infrastructure. Now for the roads, this is a big one. And this is a big one because I told you earlier, we have a 1.1 billion unfunded project on the roads. And this chart shows you that we total to $351 million. People, I never knew building roads was so expensive. And the more we wait to build a road, the more expensive it's going to get because we have to buy right away. If the utility poles are in there, we have to move utility poles. We have to pay money. It's unbelievable. So let me tell you where these roads are at that we're going to spend $351 million in. State Road 557, you may have traveled that. That's from Lake Alfred, going from Lake Alfred to I-4. Once we get to I-4, the FDOT will take care of that interchange right there. But right now, we're concentrating on just that road. Lake Wilson from State Road 54, that's the one way up in the Four Corners. If you not travel that road has, I would say, around 1 mile to 2 miles back up, just from people from Polk County trying to get to either the I-4 or Osceola, wherever they want to go. Marigold Avenue, that's a road in Poinciana, another area that has over 30,000 people already in there. It's just as big as any one of our cities, and it's in the unincorporated area. West Pitkin Road is in Lakeland. You're familiar with that road. That road is going to be expanded, and construction should be starting on that soon. I'm going to skip the next one. I'm going to go on to the Northridge Trail, Four Corners. That road, talking about Highway 27, we can't expand Highway 27. It's already a 6-lane road. If we expand it to 8 lanes, that means more people are going to use it, and we're going to be right back where we started. So we're trying to find alternate routes. And that's what the study that has been conducted lately is doing. That road is going to help alleviate some of the people that take Highway 27 and would help out. Cypress Parkway, that's another road in Poinciana. And that road, we decided to put it on a hold because they're looking at the Southport Connector. If you've not read about the Southport Connector, that is not our road. That's the Central Florida Expressway. They're looking at connecting Poinciana all the way to 95 and to the Turnpike. But we don't want to start investing money on a roadway when they're going to come afterwards and tear our stuff down. So we put that money in the hole. Let me go back up to Thompson Nursery Road, $100.6 million. This is in combination of Eagle Lake, Winter Haven, Lake Wales. And it goes from, you take 540, when you come off the Parkway, you take 540 to 17. And you would normally have to make a left and go through Eloise to go all the way to 27, or you can make a right and go through Eagle Lake to get to 27. What we're looking at is going straight across. So we avoid people going through Eloise, through all that traffic, avoid Winter Haven, and avoid those roads from Lake Wales, and reduce the traffic from there. Here's the problem with that. As we talked about it, more subdivisions and more commercial sites have been going up. So now what we thought we could do pretty well straight away, now we have to go around and make a new design. So that's one, a new design. Why the cost is there? Because we are being a little bit more proactive and buying right away for this road that's going to come. But as you see, having roads of infrastructure is extremely, extremely expensive. I'm watching my time. I'm almost to the end. We work with our legislators. I thank them personally all the time for their help. They have been very, very good to us in this last session. We ask them, please don't fund unfunded mandates, because any unfunded mandate will come out of our general fund. And we need our general fund to be invested in Polk County. Behavioral health funding is another area, as you well know, that we need to continue to work with. Water cooperative initiatives, as you know, that's a biggie. We want, they've already helped out tremendously. We want more funding for this area because water is and will continue to be an issue. And affordable housing is not only for the low income, but also for our workforce, and just helping us, gives us the funding so we can help our workforce get some money. So I'm going to end it with two things. One is the Central Florida Development Council. The next one is the Tourist Development Council, but the Central Florida Development Council kept the wheels running, churning. They kept it going. And because of you, with your approval in the last election to approve extending the property tax exemption, they were able to keep looking and recruiting businesses our way. 113 million of new capital has been invested. 440 jobs have been created, which has been right on target. We need more, but because of our situation. And 67% of those new jobs were in manufacturing. And this is important because creating new jobs is really good, but making sure that people have a chance to go up the career ladder is just as important. So that's very important for me. And Economic Development Council lost a ton of revenue. Tourism stopped, everybody stopped coming, nothing happened. These people put the headgears on and they started looking at how can we recruit other businesses, sports, arts, anything we can find, how can we bring them to Polk County, because Polk County is open for that. Not only that, if you notice, camping became a real big thing during the pandemic, and perfect opening because we had the Cabana Club and we also had the Canopy Oaks camping resorts open up. Okay, long-term growth and infrastructure. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. I've talked enough about that. Behavioral health care continues to be on our radar. Attainable, affordable housing continues to be on our radar. But I didn't talk about the next thing, which is the minimum wage requirement, which I know is going to affect a lot of people here, and it's going to affect us. What we decided to do is just what would it cost us to bring all those people that we need to bring to a 15-year, which we have time, it's not going to happen this year, but a $15 minimum wage starting fee. And it's going to cost the county $1.6 million. And if you notice the chart, the one that has the most cost in this would be the sheriff at $1.2 million. We haven't even started talking about the compression part of this. That's just going to be something that we'll need to work on. So I think that concludes. Yeah, it concludes my talk. I hope that you found the information I shared with you valuable and important. And thank you for your time. It's great to be here. Thank you. Oh, he said if I have questions, but I get to choose whose questions do I answer. And I'll repeat the questions. Okay. Yeah, and you have to speak loud because I have a hard time. Yes, sir. I cannot. That is not on our radar right now. That may be in the $1.1 billion CIP roads. But right now, the commission has not sat down to even discuss that. So I cannot give you any updates on that. And I don't want to say anything that is not correct. Yeah, he asked about the roundabouts, a good question. Even though we haven't had a lot of discussion about that, there has been some talk from staff about the possibility of roundabouts. Roundabouts will help reduce the speed and less traffic. I'm sorry, not less accidents with the roundabouts. However, and I've heard where I live in Cypress Gardens, they're looking at a roundabout. I go every day by the road they're talking about, and I look at it to see how this roundabout is going to fit. And I have no earthly idea. However, I could tell you this. I was in Arizona. Every time we came into an intersection, it was a roundabout. It was a roundabout. And I know in Lake Wells, when I go to my daughter's house, there's a roundabout on Hunt Road. And I tell you what, it works. Now, they say the cost to put a roundabout is more expensive initially, but in the long run, it should prove to be a worthwhile investment. Hope that answers your question. Yes. You mean the mill rate? Yeah, we didn't raise the mill rate. Yeah, we did. What we didn't do was we didn't go back to the rollback rate. I think that's what you're referring to, right? The rollback of rate. We had a good conversation about that, and excuse me, we have an opportunity to use that 0.1 mil instead of going back to the rollback to use it for roads and for infrastructure. Here was the essence of our conversation. We get emails and phone calls. I can speak for myself, but I'm sure the other commissioners, on a daily basis about the conditions of our roads, about why aren't we doing anything for our roads, and when are we going to start seeing improvement. If we chip at it a little bit at a time, as you saw with that list of 6 roads, we're never going to do. We're never going to catch up. Here we have a possibility of not necessarily catching up, but getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. And with future planning, hopefully that will transpire. We need the road infrastructure. So thank you. All right, that's all we have. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Please accept. Okay, now for 50-50, Tammy Croteau. While she's doing that, I'd like to thank our guests and visiting Rotarians, David and Bruce, and visiting Rotarians, Michelle and Doug McCall. And next week's program is a fan favorite, new member profiles. And I don't have my glasses, so I might just make these numbers up. What do we got here? I got this. Thank 7510. That sound good to anybody? Oh shoot. What the heck? Yeah, it's 7510. Nobody? Nobody? Going once? Do you have the ticket? Well, you didn't say that. Okay. Now for the bad dad joke. Here we go. I didn't get much sleep last night, so this one's extra bad. What did one nut say to the other nut as he was chasing? I'm a cashew. And with that, we are adjourned.